What is the best gun caliber for personal self-defense? That's a big question to ask. We'll try to answer it in this video. Of course, we know the best caliber for everybody is the one that you shoot the best, the caliber that you can afford and you can go to the range and get acclimated with, and the caliber that you're most accurate with. Anything is better than nothing. We're going to look at everything from a 22 up to some massive, massive firepower. So this is going to be a cool video. We're going to fly right through this, and what I tried to do was, of all the firepower on the table, there's like at least a dozen guns here, I tried to get one of each manufacturer so you can also look at some cool guns. Alright, welcome to weaponseducation.com. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend. Thank you. Today we have a tall order here. What is the best round for personal self-defense? Of course, all rounds kill. This is going to be a cool video, I think. I put a lot into it. Tammy's here. Hi.
Hey, I'm happy to be here as always, Tom.
Thank you. We all appreciate your help. And let's start the video off with this. Before we look at all the guns, please take a look down here close. We got the new camera here. Hopefully, put it in 1080p. It's brand new with this first new camera here. And we're going to start just to show you the different size rounds. And we're going to go from a 22, and most of you know the different sizes, and you've seen this sometimes in different videos, but I like to just show you this because I think it's really interesting. Here we have a 22, and then we'll put it next to a gun in a moment. Then we have a 380, then we have a 9mm, and then you tell me at the end which round you think is the best all-around best round. I know it's going to get a lot of comments. The 40 cal, there you got right there. Look at the Stouty 45 caliber. Look at that thing. 357 Magnum. There's a 10mm. Oh boy, oh boy. Look at the 44 Magnum. Gosh. I've even got a 5.7 in there. And there's a 410 for a tourist judge. There's a 454 Sol. There's a big boy, a 500 Magnum, and there's a 50 AE. So let's do this. Let's take a look at each gun, each different manufacturer, and talk a little bit about each caliber and even some ammunition. Take a look down here, please. Here's 6 Sauer. One of my favorite guns, this Mosquito. What I like about the 22 is it's great for the range. I do not personally use it for personal self-defense, but there's nothing wrong with using a 22 for personal self-defense. I mean, the mob, they've been using it for years. Well, not for personal self-defense, but for assassination purposes, because they don't want the bloody mess. But they got the privilege of just walking up to someone and just, shooting them behind the head. Kind of nasty. But for personal self-defense, maybe some of you like a 22. There's nothing wrong with it. What I use as far as ammo is the 22 LR CCI mini mags. Now I'll bring ammo into this video a little bit. That's what I use for the range. And those of you who use a 22 for personal self-defense, throw in your comments as to what you think is the best ammo for personal self-defense. Let's move right along here and jump up to a 380. And let's talk about Car Arms, and briefly, Car Arms, you may not realize it, they also own Thompson, who makes the Tommy gun, and they also own Desert Eagle, who makes a 50 AE. This is a Car P380, and the 380 is absolutely no slouch. It's a great pocket pistol, it's a great backup gun, and a lot of ladies keep this in their purse. And as far as ammunition, I'm going to keep coming to this line right here, the Winchester PDX 1 line. You really should go to Winchester's website and really check it out. They make this PDX 1 line for pretty much all major calibers. And also go to my SHOT Show 2012 video in which I interviewed one of the gentlemen from Winchester, and he explained all about the PDX 1 line and how They exclusively made this line for personal self-defense. The talons just totally expand unbelievably. All right, so the 380, what do you think about that? We got to move along here. Let's talk about the 40, and we have to represent HK. This is an HK P2000 SK model, the 40 caliber. HK is what really got me going in firearms way back when. And then again, here we go, as far as what ammo to use. I like the PDX1 line. There's also nothing wrong with the Hornady line or whatever line you like. There's just so many good lines of ammunition in modern day. Here we are in 2012. But here's my representation for a 40 caliber HK. Let's move on up to a 9mm. And of course, for a 9mm, where is she? Here she is. Oh, beauty, beauty. Glock 19, huh? Glock 19, I think probably maybe the most famous Glock. It's up there with one of the most famous Glocks. Glock 19 will just never fail. It's super, super high capacity. The price is extremely affordable to shoot 9mm. That comes into play for personal self-defense because you want to go to the range, you want to be acclimated, and you want to be able to hit your target. And that's what it's all about. I mean, if you can't hit your target, the bad guy is what I'm talking about, then it doesn't matter what you're shooting. You can shoot a 500 caliber or a 50 AE, and it doesn't matter if you're going to miss. The 9mm might just be the best all-around round. That's up to you. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. Let's move up here now and talk about the 45. And the gun I have to represent a 45 is a Springfield. And I love this. It's called a compact Springfield XDM. It's the AC 45 ACP XDM, but it's a 3.8-inch barrel. And this baby holds like 13, 14 rounds. Whew, with the extension on the end here. So the 45 has been around, you know, for as long as we could remember. The 45 has huge stopping power. A lot of people say, well, I'm a big macho guy, I just always want to carry a 45. But you got to remember, the more force that bullet has coming out of that barrel, the more force the gun has and recoil going back towards your hand and pulling you off target. So you really got to practice with your gun. Can you afford to buy enough ammunition for a 45 and go practice regularly and hit your target? You got to hit the CNS on a human being. If someone's running around with a gun, wielding a gun in a restaurant, and they're a moving target, can you hit your target with a 45? Hopefully. Hopefully, if that's the case, then the 45 is for you. Maybe you should bring it down to a 40 or a 9mm if you need something that doesn't have as much recoil. This is my representation of a 45 Springfield XDM. Okay, moving on up, let's go to a 357 Magnum, and we have to show a Smith & Wesson revolver for this. This is my pocket pistol, and you've seen this on my channel before if you're a subscriber to Weapons Education. I love this 357. Of course, I also love the 686. This is the 340 model with a scandium frame. It's extremely light, about 13 ounces, and this is something that is for very close range. But the 357 has a lot of recoil, and it's something that is also pricey to shoot and that you want to practice a lot with. So a lot of people do like the 357 for personal self-defense. Let's move on up to a different gun and a different caliber, and you know me, I'm a big, huge 10mm buff. So I have 3 guns and 3 manufacturers to represent 10mm. Here's a Colt Delta Elite, still in production today, and there's a huge story behind the 10mm. I've done videos on it. I'll keep doing more videos on the 10mm. I just think this caliber is fabulous. Now, a lot of people are going to talk about over-penetration. So I'm just going to talk to you about it right now. Over-penetration. Well, if you hit your target and you're using modern-day ammunition, that's going to have a hollow point where the talons are just going to fan out and do their job and hopefully not go more than 10, 12 inches through the human body of the bad guy. Over-penetration is not an issue. but there's a good chance you're gonna miss. And that's true with all guns. Let's think about it. I mean, no matter what you're shooting a 22 or you're shooting a 500 Magnum. If you miss the bad guy, you got a problem where that round is going. So that's why you got to practice so much. But let's keep talking about 10 millimeter. Here's another one here. You can't stop talking about Glock here. 29. I also love the 20. I just pulled out a 29 here to show you. And then another 10 millimeter. We have to represent Kimber. Is this gorgeous, gorgeous 10 millimeter from Kimber. Let me show you both sides of this. Oh my gosh, this Eclipse Custom 2 is one of my favorite 1911s. So the 10 millimeter is a massive round. I carry it, but don't copy me because it's actually, it is a little bit overkill. This is the ammunition I like for the 10 millimeter. You got a close look at that? Okay, double tap. And what does that say? 125 grain, 1,600 feet per second. You realize that? How fast that is? 1,600 feet per second. Let's take a close look at one of these puppies. This is some bad ammo, boy. Oh boy. Look at that. Got a nice close zoom in on that. Beautiful. I like looking at ammo. I like looking at ammo. I like the double tap line all across the board for all calibers along with the PDX1 line for personal self-defense. This is not ammo you're going to shoot at the range and waste a bunch of money on. You'll shoot a couple of magazines to make sure it goes through your gun properly. And after that, you just hopefully never have to shoot it again. So I do like double tap and the Winchester PDX1 line. And talking about Winchester, also the Ranger series. And they have all different calibers in the Ranger series. Oh boy, that's like a black talon right there, the Ranger. All right, now moving up from a 10 millimeter, a 44 Magnum. Okay, we have Smith & Wesson again here. Where is she? Oh gosh, from the Performance Center. Let's take a look at the 44. Which one? Here she is here. The 44, just an absolutely amazing round. And I do like carrying this 44. Is this the best caliber for personal self-defense? It's up to you. Can you shoot it well? The 44 Magnum is extremely expensive. If there's a negative, and that's also true with a lot of the calibers I'm speaking about, is the price. You always have to look at the price line on these things. Is it too expensive for you to go practice with and get acclimated with? But look at this 44 Magnum with the double tap here. 300 grain bullet at 1,300 feet per second. Get a close look at that. Because I know everyone's into these stats here. 1,300 feet per second out of a 44 Magnum, 300 grains. And those of you who are new to guns, grains means the weight of the bullet. That's a heavy bullet. And that's a fast speed at 1,300 feet per second. So the 44 Magnum, is that an option for you for personal self-defense? Maybe, close range at home, depends on what you're up to. Yeah, I even got a 5.7 here for you. Look at this baby, oh gosh. You know what's great about this gun, and I carry it, you've seen me carry it in different videos in my shoulder system, is what's great about it is the lightweight. It's a feather. It's lighter than a Glock. It really is. And this is a 30-round magazine, so you have super high capacity. It comes with two 20-round magazines stock, and then I got a 30-round magazine for it. So I'm carrying 70 rounds with a shoulder holster, which is a bit much. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying you have the opportunity to do it. And before these big, large magazine bands come into play here, large magazine bands come into play, you may want to scoop one of these up, the 5.7. The 5.7 here, here's a close look at the bullet, the round. It's really a trick. I recommend the 27 grain. It's a very small round. And you have to buy proprietary ammunition, which is no big deal. Just go buy 1,000 rounds, and then you're good to go, if you can afford it, or 100 rounds every quarter for a year or two, and then you're stocked up. But this is also like a flamethrower when you shoot it. So you got to keep that in mind. If you're using this for personal self-defense, it's going to shoot a 3-foot flame out of it. Now, moving up, not necessarily moving up, just moving around here. How about a 410? 410, here's a tourist judge. We gotta give tourists some recognition. The tourist judge, we love looking at guns. And here's the ammo I recommend. Again, the PDX1 line, if you look real close, can you please zoom in on that? You see how it has those 3 plates and then a bunch of BBs? How many is it? 12 BBs and 3 massive plates. So, I mean, you look at the front of that shotgun shell, little 410, it's not a little 410, it's a big shotgun shell out of this. You can see the plate right there. So this is excellent for personal defense, for close up in your face, maybe next to your bed or in your purse if you're a lady, you're not going to miss. So the 410 is something I wanted to bring out to you. And now let's move up to, okay, now I have to bring out these big guns because everyone's going to say, well, just carry a 454. That's a little overkill. I'm just going to say it right now. No. No. The 454, or let's take a look back at the ammunition, please, here, because I want to give you an idea of the difference. And here's the 454 here. See that? Massive, huge. And look at the 500 Magnum. Now, here's the 500. Let's take a look at the gun again. Thank you. And this gun is no longer available. It's the snubby, like 2 3/4 inch barrel. And yes, that is the grips it comes with. This is the Bearer Survival Kit. This is a limited edition that I got the whole kit for. I love this thing. But the recoil on the 454 or the 500 is so incredibly ridiculous that it is not what you want for personal self-defense. Just don't even go there. I mean, unless you want to take out, Godzilla or T-Rex. But if you're gonna use a 500 Magnum for personal self-defense, this is the ammo you might be interested in. Gotta talk about ammo a little bit. Winchester, platinum tip, 400 grain, and then you never know. Look at that. It's even got a silver platinum tip. Silver, even better than silver. You'll definitely take out a werewolf. So if you're gonna hunt werewolves, yeah, carry a 500 Magnum. Otherwise, no, you don't need a 500 Magnum. Let's finish up the video and come up here and take a look at me and talk about one more gun, one more option, and that's a Desert Eagle. And like I said, Carr now owns Thompson, the Tommy gun. You see me with my Tommy gun. I've shown you the Carr, and yeah, the Desert Eagle, I do have a carry system for it, and it is one chunk of steel, right about 5 pounds. And here's the round here. It's just huge. No, don't carry a Desert Eagle. Just because I do. I carry it around the property, right, Tammy? Just walk around the property, just because it's kind of cool to carry your collection with you. But no, I'm not going to go out to the mall or something carrying a Desert Eagle 50 AE. But yeah, I like walking around the property with it. It gives you a good workout, makes your neck feel good. The answer is, I think the best answer is, maybe, you tell me. The highest caliber that you can shoot the best, whether it be a 9 or a 40 or a 45, is that the answer? The gun that you're going to carry the most often and that you're going to practice the most with, the gun that you're going to really be able to shoot accurately and hit your target in the CNS, head. Okay, so there you go. Let me know what you think. What is your favorite caliber? There is no end-all answer except for practice, 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 and use your head. Remember, the best safety net is between your ears, in your head. Your brain is the best safety net. And then you can choose what the best caliber is. Check it out, Weapons Education. My name is Tom. Please subscribe, please tell a friend, and please share this on Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff. Favorite the whole video, and let's grow the channel together. Thank you so much.